I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now update for the week ending the December 5th, 6th weekend 2020. A concise summary of everything important that has happened in Brampton the previous week and what's coming up. What the Toronto outlets don't have time to tell you about where we live here in Brampton. Coming up, while there's much talk of vaccines months away in the future, Peel's chief medico says steady as she goes with the current safety measures. Details on that and more coming up in this Brampton Now update. Here's what's happening in Brampton. Dr. Lowe, Chief Medical Officer, with a sympathetic tone for those tired of COVID and those whose businesses have been affected.
It's understandable that many of us are tired of COVID-19. We've all been impacted in different ways. I particularly empathize with our business owners who are again sacrificing to stop widespread community transmission. You have my support for any and all assistance that you might receive during these difficult times to make things more bearable.
Note now, the chief medic talks about supports for businesses, not anything like opening up. No, that would be contrary to the science and would be wrong right now.
I am concerned, however, that we are to some degree forgetting the human element behind some of the other numbers that I report. I keep hearing some people weighing the economic impact against the number of cases and hospitalizations reported, and morbidly, even sometimes against the lives lost to date. This is dangerous because we know that we avoided the worst case projections in Peel and Canada through effective measures that were designed to limit transmission.
And while we may have vaccines on the distant horizon, 6 months away for most, Lowe says.
So please, as you are able, do your part. Ignoring advice and regulations doesn't make you a freedom fighter. To me, it shows a certain callousness and disregard for fellow human beings that are impacted by this virus, often our community's most vulnerable. So remember, don't hold or attend social gatherings. Limit close contact to those you live with and 1 or 2 essential supports. Reduce your in-person meetings beyond your home to only the most essential reasons. And when you do meet, distancing, masking, and don't go if you're sick.
In a moment, the Premier announces his vaccination task force this week. A few points from that ahead on the Brampton Now update.
This is a pivotal moment in our fight against COVID-19. What we do next will determine how quickly and how well we recover. Our economy is recovering, and as we resume activities, we must remember the core 4 activities that will be important steps on our road to recovery. We're asking you to commit to these 4 things. Stay apart. Maintain a safe 2-meter physical distance from people that are not within your social circle. Mask up. Wear a non-medical mask where physical distancing is difficult. Lather up. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or hand sanitizer. Get tested. Get tested if you have symptoms consistent with COVID-19 or are worried that you may have been exposed to someone who does. These 4 core steps are the fastest path to overcoming COVID-19. They will protect you, protect others, and bring back our thriving communities. Show your commitment to the core 4 by sharing the symbol on social media, posting in your workplace, or in your front window at home.
This is the Brampton Now update. I'm Bruce Marshall. The Premier announced this week plans for the vaccination task force to take on the monumental task of distributing the vaccine and getting it to priority patients.
Today, federal officials provided some details about their plans to roll out the first vaccines in Canada. They made a few points very clear. The first vaccines will be approved and available in early 2021. Initial supply will be very limited, and there's still a lot of work left to do.
Ford outlined the responsibilities of the 2 senior levels of government.
And I should be clear about what our part is. As we know, the federal government is responsible for acquiring the vaccines. They will determine which vaccines we get, how many vaccines we get, and when they come to us. Ontario's role is to have the plans in place, to have the distribution network running smoothly, to get the vaccines where they need to go. Together, we will ensure that every person in Ontario who needs a vaccine, every person who wants a vaccine, will have access to one as we receive them.
The distribution is a task of such complexity that Ford has drafted a former chief of the defense staff of the Canadian Forces to plan the distribution. In a moment, Brampton's rec department has produced some great workout videos. Details next on the Brampton Now update.
This is your invitation to go beyond sightseeing, to engage in our traditions. Come experience something new, yet centuries old, and give in to your sense of adventure. Experience our country's history and heritage. Discover your authentic Indigenous experience at indigenous-tourism.ca.
I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now update. The City of Brampton Rec Department realizes that too much time indoors could turn us into couch potatoes. So they've produced a series of workout videos, including one that you can do entirely in a seated position. See? There's a workout to do while you're on hold with tech support. Details on the city's workout videos at brampton.ca. What to do with Williams Parkway has been decided. It's been on the books at City Hall in one form or another for about 15 years. Council decided this week to adopt none of the scenarios proposed. Instead, the city will go ahead with a scheduled resurfacing, and there will also be active transportation trails and a lot of greenery incorporated into the redo of Williams Parkway's corridor, which is being hailed as a victory by active transportation and cycling advocates in Brampton. In a moment, what's ahead in Brampton this weekend and the coming week, plus my Marshall rant coming up on the Brampton Now update.
The COVID-19 pandemic in Canada is serious. We must continue to practice all public health measures. Follow local guidelines for gatherings, maintain physical distancing, wash your hands, wear a mask, and download the COVID Alert app. If you have symptoms, even mild ones, stay home. Protect yourself and others. We've come too far to stop now.
A message from the Government of Canada.
You're watching Brampton Now Update. I'm Bruce Marshall. This weekend and ahead in Brampton, Boys and Girls Club of Peel are soliciting donations for their Christmas hamper program. You can go to bgcpeel.org for info on how to help out. The Journey Neighborhood Centre, with 2 Brampton program locations, opened a thrift store in downtown Brampton in September. Journey Thrift is on Nelson Street near the YMCA. They are, of course, closed during the Grey shutdown period. Brampton Music Theatre continues a fundraising contest called Catch the Ace. It's at bmtcatchtheace.ca. BMT also continues online training programming and concerts on their website at bramptonmusictheatre.com, or you can like them on Facebook. One of the biggest items of the year on the city agenda, the budget, is open right now. The budget expected to be finalized on December 9th. Go to brampton.ca/budget for more information. Coming up, the Marshall Rant. A few thoughts on the Williams Parkway changes that really aren't changes. Next on the Brampton Now Update.
Is going to a party really worth it? Putting yourself at risk puts everyone at risk. Help limit the spread of COVID-19.
I'm Bruce Marshall, and this is the Marshall Rant. The news this week that the city would be shelving plans for a redesign of Williams Parkway came as good news to many. The Williams Parkway project has been around in one form or another for about 15 years. It would have gotten its start in the latter days of the old urban planning ethic that you just keep widening roads to keep cars going, say, 60 to 80 kilometers an hour. As population grew, so too did road width, all with the object of throughputing as much traffic as possible. But somewhere in this term of council, we've lost that old idea. Most of our councillors have realized that an integrated suite of transportation modes is necessary, and the space that cars take up just can't be accomplished in a Brampton twice the size. That Brampton now of a mere 19 years away. This decision also has to be made with the knowledge that our future is probably going to be much different. Many of us are just not going to go to work anymore. We're working from home. I know personally, I used to buy fuel for the car every week. Now, every 4 to as much as 6 weeks. I expect our reduced use of roads to continue. Our use of active transportation is way up, however. Many are choosing cycling to work over transit or the car. So it makes sense, I think, to do what we're doing now with Williams Parkway. What do you think? Leave your comments below or get back to me. I'm Bruce Marshall, and that's it for this week. Please subscribe to the Brampton Now Update channel on YouTube or follow #MarshallMinute on Facebook for lots of Brampton Need to Know that you will not find anywhere else. Your comments and suggestions are always welcome, and if you've got a Brampton story to tell, get in touch with me through the channel you're watching on right now. Stay strong, Brampton. Brampton strong. We're all in this together. I'm Bruce Marshall. Thanks for watching Brampton Now Update.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.